Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bianca Rosen. I'm a professional artist and an art teacher, and you may know me as Art by Bianca on Instagram. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Today's video is a little bit different than my other videos because I'm going to dive into something that I've never ever shared before with anyone, and that is how I find my inspiration for my artwork. I decided to create this video after receiving hundreds of messages from people asking me how I'm able to find inspiration to create new art daily. I quickly realized that so many people have been struggling with this topic and decided to share my tactics with you, which will help you in figuring out what to paint next. By the end of this video, you'll have enough tools to be able to find inspiration in your day-to-day life, which will give you total creative freedom. So let's get started. I think the reason why for me it's so easy to find inspiration is because I never take the natural world around me for granted, and I always go out to nature even if I'm in the city. And even if it's winter, it doesn't matter for me. I can always find the beauty in what's around me in the present moment. And on days, let's say when it's rainy, I like to look at my memories on my phone and look at my photos, and sometimes I'll use those as reference photos for my art. It goes without saying that flowers are definitely the focal point of what I paint and what I enjoy to look at and admire and take photos of as inspiration for my art, but I like to challenge myself also and explore different avenues that are available to me in nature. Here's a little run through for you to show you how I use flowers to inspire my floral work. Pansies are some of my favorite flowers, and after gathering a few photos that I took, I decided to create this painting. I always use inspiration as a source of creativity, meaning I don't usually copy directly from nature. Instead, I let nature shape new ideas, and that's how I usually come up with a painting. I'm usually very drawn to bright florals as I love including these colors in my work. Living in Canada, I do think I'm privileged because I am able to escape the city and access beautiful forests like this. I realize not everyone has this opportunity, but everyone does have the opportunity to step outside and find some nature around them. That's really all it takes. So come join me in the forest and let's find some inspiration together. So usually when I'm in the forest, I'm just walking around, and the way something will stand out to me is by its color or shape or just something unusual that I might notice. So this kind of stood out to me. Some lovely mushrooms, wild mushrooms. And what I do at this point usually is that I'll take a few pictures from different angles and I will store those on my phone. And those will serve me as inspiration later on when it's time to paint. As an artist, usually color and form stands out to me, so I'm sure most of you watching this are also artists, and you guys are probably fascinated by these pretty mushrooms that I just found. So something else I like to do is really look at the colors, because nature uses the most beautiful colors, contrasting colors, or complementary colors that kind of go together. And that's a good way to find inspiration when it comes to colors. I think this is a great exercise if you're an artist and you're looking for color palettes to work with. Always look at nature. The key when walking around is really to keep your eyes peeled and be in the present. So I've been walking around and I just noticed this. It's actually hiding underneath a dead leaf. So I'm gonna try and move that away so that we could see this mushroom up close. Wow, look how nice that is. So what I would do now is take a few pictures and I'm going to show you. Oh, I see a little spider. I'm going to show you the type of pictures that I would take for this mushroom, and those could definitely serve you as, you know, a photo that you could paint from, or something that you could look at to give you an idea about maybe something else. Maybe you want to paint something abstract with these colors. The brown here, I really like the brown against the yellow and the bit of green here. So you could even think about color compositions just by looking at what's around you. Here are some examples of photos that I take that I will later use as references for my artwork. So I went from this mushroom to finding this one, and I just looked a little bit to my left and I see these two adorable ones against this trunk right here. And I know there's a lot of mushrooms going on in this video, but that's only because that's what's happening right now in the forest. There's a lot of mushrooms growing. I guess there's a lot of moisture, so they're popping up all over the place. And as I mentioned before, the key is to be open-minded and just look at your surroundings and use that as inspiration. You may have noticed this little patch of ferns from the first part of my video. So I'm actually going to get closer now and take a few photos of this because I think it would make a beautiful painting. In the next few slides, I'm going to show you exactly the type of photos I would take of this scene in order to help me create original artwork. You'll notice that I start from a distance and slowly get closer and closer to my subject. I think it's great to do this because it's really important to get different perspectives of the object or subject you are going to paint. This will also allow you to expand on creativity and produce something that is unique. So not only is it important to look down at the ground, but it's also important to look up sometimes because you might notice some things that you weren't expecting. I wasn't able to capture it on video, but the intricacy of the spider web was fascinating. I got a few photos and here are some to show you guys. I'll definitely be using this as inspiration for a drawing in the near future. So the spider web wasn't the only fascinating thing I saw during this walk. Get ready for something spectacular. Now, I tend to see wild animals quite often, even when I'm in the city, and I think this is thanks to the fact that I'm very present. And like I mentioned previously, I'm always scanning my surroundings for inspiration. This little porcupine totally made my day, and I took a million photos of him. Make sure to pay attention to everything, from colors to shapes to textures. Something else I really recommend is walking around and not looking at your GPS and just seeing where you end up. I find that a lot of the time my art is a direct reflection of the season and what's growing, what types of plants are out. It's also inspired by my surroundings and by my mood, which really has a big influence on the colors that I use and the style that I paint in. And I find that in terms of color palette or things that I paint, that usually my inspiration comes directly from the present and from the current season. And like I'm showing you in this video, from all the beautiful things that you can find in nature that are just footsteps away from you without you even realizing it. It's all around you if you're willing to open your eyes to it. And so if you have trouble with inspiration, I really hope that this video helps open your mind and really helps you be present and realize that there's so much beauty around you. All it takes really is having a sense of adventure, wanting to get out there and explore and see what can trigger you in a certain way. Also, curiosity is extremely important when you're an artist and you want to keep having new ideas to create artwork more regularly. The path to inspiration is endless. Let it guide you and you'll be surprised with what you end up finding. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to subscribe for more.